Hello, good morning everybody. Today I would like to show you my completed pages of April and May. So it is 2 months because in the month of April I hadn't got a lot of time to color and I started a lot of pages but didn't finish them. So in the month of June I had a little bit more time to color. So that's why I have this pile of books. So I will clean my desk and we'll get started. The first book I want to show you is Very Touch of Magic by Klara Markova. This is a new book to me. So this was on my wish list for like 2 years and now I had the opportunity to buy a book because of my mother-in-law. She's also coloring and we split the shipping costs because it is huge to Belgium and I didn't thought my skills were good enough for this book, so now I finally got it. I did 2 pages in it. So the first page I did was the nameplate page. I didn't knew which page just to start with, so the nameplate page is always a good one. I used a alcohol marker base and I used for this pumpkin it was polychromos, but I didn't really like how the pencil was going on top of the marker, so I switched for the rest to Prismacolor and I think that combo was a lot easier to blend. I used a little bit of Posca, but it was an ivory one for the candle and for the dots. And I used a little bit of glitter gel pen. I don't know if you can see the shimmer, like it is on a little bit on the candy. In the middle of the flower, a little bit on the bow. I don't know if it shows up, but yeah, it's a little bit of sparkle. And I think that was it. Yes, so everything was done with alcohol markers and colored pencils on top. And then I did a second page for Mermaid, of course. And it was this one. So this was again also based with alcohol markers and polychromos on top. I used also some gold gel pen on the sweater, the necklace, and a little bit on the scarf. The white bubbles and jellyfish are done with white Posca, also the pearls. And also a little bit of gold on the tail. I don't know if you can see it. It's very hard to show. I have an extra ring light, but the shimmer is not very good at this point. So this was actually a page I thought it was going to be very fast, and apparently I was so picky because this was a very expensive book. It took me like 5 days, even though the alcohol base was like 1 day. So yeah. And I used a little bit of water-based markers, like on the extra accents on the seahorse. Also here, and a little bit of water-based markers, some dots for the sand. So that's it. Yeah, that was it. So this was the book Very Touch of Magic by Klara Markova. Also a new book for me. This is Coloring with Your Octopus by Brian Kessinger. I saw this book on Inksmith and I thought it was very cute. She also said the paper was great, so that's a deal breaker for me. I don't buy Amazon coloring books with great space paper. The only exception I make is for Carla Magana, because I use alcohol markers in them with some gel pen and no pencil, so that's perfect. But if I want to use pencil, like most of the time for some shadow and highlights, I need good paper. I cannot work with it. So yeah, the first page I did was this one. I used water-based markers as a base and some polychromos on top. And I used a little bit of gel pen, like especially on the women, to give a little bit more interest. Oh yeah, now the sparkle is going. Okay, perfect. So the yellow circle I drew around her because it was too white, and it was like meant to be a spotlight. Don't know if it comes over like a spotlight, but hey. And it is like 3 layers of water-based markers. So I used a tutorial of Doodle Robot, and she has like a video how to do a streak-free water-based marker. And I thought, okay, perfect, I want to try it. And it's actually very good. So everything is done basing with water-based markers, 1 or 2 layers, like vertically and horizontally, and then you get no streaking. And then I went on top of it with colored pencils. So very glad with the result. Not very happy with the colors I chose. I like the warm pink, but I think the combo with the cold purpley pink was not the best choice. Maybe I had to do it black, I don't know. But hey, I was thinking at the moment pink, so hey, here we are. This is the second page I did, and I did actually the same. So I used water-based markers for a base. So again, 1 like this, 1 layer like this. You have to let it dry between layers, otherwise your paper is going to start peeling off. Then I used polychromos on top of it. Polychromos work wonderfully in this book. It's really perfect, and I like polychromos on top of water-based markers. I used a little bit of glitter gel pen here on the jewelry of her, and that's it. So and a little bit on the, what is this, a camel llama. So a little bit of gold gel pen, and the background is done with soft pastels. So I did a little bit of soft pastels on the background, just a little bit. I like the white of the paper, but it needs a little bit of color for my taste. I cannot leave a background completely white or not adding anything. So that's a me thing, not a book thing. So this was my second book, Coloring with Your Octopus, Brian Kessinger. This is my third new book of the month. I don't know if it was April or May I bought it, but it is a new book for me. So it is Secret Worlds, A Magical Color and Search Journey by Stephanie Lau. If you don't see it, I like very detailed books. So I was in the mood to color very detailed pages, and I hadn't got any books to color what I liked. So I searched a bunch of books, and I bought actually, I think 4 or 5 books in the last 2 months. Normally I buy 1 book 1 month or 1 book every 2 months because I don't have the budget to buy a lot of books, because I said I only buy books with good paper, so the books are a little bit more expensive, and I don't want to spend 100 euros a month on coloring books. So yeah, Secret Worlds by Stephanie Lau, and I did this page. I am not happy with this one. It was, oh my god. So I did everything with water-based markers. So I didn't use alcohol markers because it was very, very detailed, very fine line art, and I was afraid of the bleeding. So I did everything with water-based markers, and I used some, I think it was polychromos on top. I like the trees, I like the unicorn, and I didn't like the rest. So the water is okay, but I don't like how I did the rock. I thought it was only this, like around the tree. But then I was coloring, and then I saw it was like going all the way up here, and I was already coloring with gray, so I had to move on. And I thought this was all water and just a little bit of rocks. So yeah, it was not how I was looking at it at the point. So it was like, these are very detailed pages and you just see what you have to color once you are coloring. So now I don't see where the water is actually finishing, what is above water, what is underwater. So it is very hard in this book to see. So that's the reason why I blew up this page, I think. I did a little bit of white Posca on the fairy, on the bottle, and of course on the water. I thought this was going to help to mask a little bit, but no. And I used a little bit of gold gel pen for some accents. So not a great first attempt, but hey, this book is wonderful. The paper is wonderful. Polychromos work perfectly on this. So it is definitely a great book, but first failure, so too bad. So this was Secret Worlds by Stephanie La. Okay, so this is also a new book for me because I finished all my Carla Magana pages. So I was looking for a new book and I chose Spooklets volume 1. Oh my god, I cannot say it's volume 1. And I did a couple of pages in here. So the first one I did was this lady. And she is inspired by the box of cookies. So if I have the picture, I will put it on the screen so you see what I mean with the box. I used alcohol markers as a base. I used the black is a water-based marker because my black alcohol markers is finished. So I used a water-based marker. Then I used some Jelly Roll Moonlight. So the blue and the red is Jelly Roll Moonlight. I used a black fine liner, so I added the background. I added a lot of extra line work and detail with the black fine liner. I used some white Posca, so with the dots and the skin color. I used also a gold glitter gel pen for her outfit and for the skulls. So yeah, actually very happy with this one. Normally I don't do like a skin color and some brown hair, but because the cookies were with chocolate, I had to use brown, and this color was also a little bit in the packaging, so yeah, I thought she didn't distract from the background. So this is the first one. The second one I did was this one. I used some soft gel crayons in the background, some alcohol markers as a base. I used a water-based marker again for the black because my black alcohol marker is finished. Black fine liner for some extra detailing like the scribbling. I used some Jelly Roll Moonlight, the orange and the pink is Jelly Roll Moonlight. I used a white gel pen for the white accents, and I used some glitter gel pen. I used a purple and a blue one on her hair, and a gold one on the skulls, on her face, and on her outfit. So yeah. I like this one. The third one I did was this lady. I drew in a square in the background and I draw the stripes to give it a little bit more interest. It's based with alcohol markers. I used some black fine liner to add some elements. I used gold glitter gel pen and white Posca. So this one was a coloring page on the go. So I didn't use a lot of materials, but I really like the ending result. I think this was a colored palette. If I find it, I will put it on the screen as well. So Really like this one. Then I did this page. It is also done with alcohol markers, Jelly Roll Moonlight, black fine liner, white Posca, also a metallic gel pen. So around her silhouette, I used a metallic golden gel pen and glitter gel pen. So I think the only elements on the page was this lady and the two squares. Then I was trying to color the background in yellow, but my yellow alcohol markers was running out, so I had to split the page in two. And then I thought it was too symmetrical, so I added 3 black dots in the background as well. So yeah, happy accident, I think. This is also very shiny. So yeah, this was the 4th one, and then the last one I did in this book was this one. So again, the only thing on the page was the lady, so I drew like an extra line around her. I was planned to leave it white, then I put a frame around her that wasn't okay. Then I colored this in with the skin color. It was too flat, so I added again some lines. It was a whole process. This thing took me like 3 days because I wasn't happy every time I did something. I wanted to use pink and turquoise, then like this. The purple was white and it was too white against the skin and this border, so I tried purple and this is it. So I didn't know what I was doing at this point. I was adding and adding and adding until I was happy. So Carla's books can really motivate you to keep adding and keep drawing until the page is like full. So yeah, it is also a little bit shiny. So I actually like this one. I was at a point I was like, I'm going to quit. But now it's okay. I'm just not happy with the border, with the color, but I like the rest. So this was Spooklets volume 1 by Carla Magana. I did one in Summer Nights by Hannah Carlson, and the page I did was this one. So the background is done with Neo Color 2s, so not straight on the paper, but I did it on a palette and I picked it up with a water brush. I used some white dots in the background to give it some interest. Then I based everything with water-based markers and I used some Prismacolors on top. I also used a glitter gel pen here in the middle of the flowers and also on the birds a little bit. And the border, like the dots, is glitter glue. So it is like a pink glitter glue. For the ones in America, it is like Stickles, but it is like a home brand here in Belgium. Stickles is very expensive to get. This is a great alternative. So yeah, and I used some black fine liner for the black accents in the birds and also the black on the border of the, what is this, like a necklace or something, a chain? Yeah. Quite happy with this one. I like the background. Not very happy with the color palette. Maybe it's not that interesting to me, but yeah, okay, it's fine. Oh yeah, I did a double page spread in this one. I'm sorry, my English is not my first language, so some words are a little bit difficult to pronounce. So I wanted to do like a portrait thingy. It was a long time ago since I did a face in Hannah Carlson, and I'm always looking. I like coloring faces, but it is such a lot of work and I don't have a lot of time. So now I was like looking for an easier way to color faces. So what I did, I based the whole face with a Neo Color 2. It is like a skin color. If you want to know, leave me a comment and I will look up the color I used. I have the 40 set, so even if you have the 40 set, this color is in it. And I used it on a palette and I picked it up with a water brush. So did everything with the skin color. And then I used like 2 or 3 colors on top of it. And then you have like quite a good skin. It is not perfect, but it is pleasing to look at. So I just cannot figure out which color I want to use for blush in Prismacolor because it is quite new to me. So if you have any suggestions, please leave me a comment which color you're using for blush. So the hair is also done with Neo Color 2s, again on the palette, and I was picking it up with the water brush. So no coloring pencils on the hair because this was a lot and I wasn't keen on doing that with coloring pencils. The birds are also done with one color, Neo Color 2 on the base, and a little bit of coloring pencils just to give it a little bit more of a shadow. Black fine liner for the black in everything. So I like to use a lot of black for the accents because it is a lot of fizzly bits. I used glitter gel pen on the birds and the the jewelry. Oh, and also on the flowers of her earrings. Yeah. Okay. And then I used a little bit of coloring pencils on top. The colors I used in the birds, I used them also in the gems. And then I went around it with white Posca. And then with a white Neo Color 2, I added some, how is this called? It's not gradient, it's like a shine from the diamond. So it is just done with a white Neo Color 2. The stars in the background are also done with some glitter gel pen and also a little bit of white dots in the background. And the whole background is done with some soft gel crayons. So it was very easy. This was actually a page that went very fast, I think 2 days, because I based everything with Neo Color 2. It went very fast and I actually like the result on the birds and also on the skin. The hair, I was planning on doing it black because it was a black Neo Color 2, but because you dilute it with water, it's actually a little bit gray, but that was fine for me. So this was actually a very quick way to do a double page spread and a skin in Hannah Carlson. So again, this was Summer Nights by Hannah Carlson. I did pages in Drummerfanger by Tomislav Tomic. It is pronounced Drummerfanger. For the ones who don't know how to pronounce it, Drummerfanger. So the first one I did was the double page spread in for Mermaid. I started this one in April, so I gave myself a head start for this one. I used water-based markers for everything. So everything is done with water-based markers, also the backgrounds. Then I used some polychromos on top. I used a lot of white gel pen. So everything I did a water-based marker. If it was too small, I just used a little bit of white gel pen to give a little bit of shine. And all the bigger elements I did with polychromos on top, just to give it a little bit more interest. And I used some glitter gel pen. It is like on the jewelry of the mermaids. And a little bit here on the fence of the castle. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So this one took me like a very while and I didn't know which colors to use. I think I used a color palette. not sure about it. So I tried to color everything as streak-free with water-based markers as I possibly could. I don't have a lot of colors in water-based markers, so I wanted to use a limit color palette. So yeah, no idea if I accomplished it, but hey, I like this one. And then I did a second page. In this book, I used some watercolor metallic paint for the border. Like the purple is some metallic paint. I used some glitter gel pen for the jewelry. Some water-based markers with polychromos on top. Like the fish, I didn't even use coloring pencils. I think the only thing I used it only a little bit on the hair, a little bit on the skin, and a little bit on the shell. All the rest is just plain water-based marker. Some white gel pen for the pearls and this big one. Oh yeah, this is also a metallic paint, like the swirls in the water. It's like a metallic paint. And I went around it with some white gel pen. And the background is done with the Faber-Castell Albrecht, so watercolor pencils. And I tried to do a gradient from a dark blue to a lighter blue. So yeah, this was actually a very easy page. It's not because you have a detailed page, you always have to do everything with coloring pencils. I use a lot of water-based markers, and when I think something isn't popping enough, then I use coloring pencils. So the only thing I did was like the hair and the skin of the mermaid, because she has to stand out. That's it. Okay. So this was Drummerfanger by Tomislav Tomic. The next one I did, this is Worlds Within Worlds by Kirby Rosens, but I have the Polish edition because it was just a lot cheaper and I really like the paper in this one. And I did this double page spread. I used some soft gel crayons in the background, water-based markers for the whole thing, so nothing with coloring pencils. I layered everything with water-based markers, so like in this thing is like 1, 2, 3, 4 colors. You can do this with very detailed pages. So it has to be very detailed, otherwise this technique isn't going to work. And I used some glitter gel pen. So like you see, everything is done with water-based markers, nothing is blended. Also here, like the fish and the trident, or how is this called, is done with glitter gel pen. Don't know if you can see it. Yeah, here we go. So I did this one like in 2 days. So I did a lot of pages, but I tried to make it myself as easy as possible with like, I think this is a great outcome. This one was very popular on Instagram as well. So yeah, really like this one. This was also for Mermaid. Worlds Within Worlds by Kirby Rosens. The book I have layering around when I am like in a hospital or I have to wait somewhere very long. Then I just take like 6 markers and I just started coloring. And I only did 1 page in this book. And it's this one. So this was a color palette for Easter, I think. And I used a little bit of alcohol markers and some metallic gel pen. Nothing fancy about this one. This was like a very cheap book. But I like the mandalas. I like the square. It is a small size, easy for taking away with me. It's not too big, not too detailed, not too simple. I like the variation in this one. So it is Mandalas coloring book by David K, maybe? Yeah, if you want, this is the ISBN number. I got it from Amazon. This is Amazon Create Space Paper. Yeah, David K. Okay, so it was this one. A body color in April in Magical Dreamland by Mei Zheng. So this is the page I did. It's like a very long time ago. So this is a body color group that started with the Doodle Robot. If I think about it, I will link everyone below that is participating. I did the background with new color twos. I did everything with water-based markers, again with Doodle's video on how to do a streak-free coloring page. So no coloring pencils on this one. This was based on a color palette. I think it was a cupcake. If I found a picture, I will put it on the screen. I used some metallic silver gel pen around the whole silhouette of this thing, a glitter gel pen and white gel pen. This one actually took me quite a while. It looks very easy, but because I wanted to do it streak-free, I had to do like 2-3 pages. So yeah, this was a long project, but I like the ending result. So yeah, this is Magic Dreamland by Mei Zheng. What I did was in Nature Mandalas by Melpomene Chatsipanagyotu. And I did this mandala. And again, I wanted to experiment with water-based markers. So this is only water-based markers and glitter gel pen. No coloring pencils, nothing fancy. So this is like layering, like you do with coloring pencils, like a light shade, a medium shade, and a dark shade. And you do the same thing, except you are not blending. So I started with the light color, I put in a medium color, and then a dark color. So this is the ending result. And there is some glitter gel pen all over the page. So yeah. This was also a very popular one on Instagram. This was also a color palette, but I don't know if I have everything in my phone because it was like 2 months. And I do like a big sweep in my pictures every 2 weeks because I have a kid and you have like 200 pictures a week. And I have to remove a little bit of pictures. So this was the last one in Nature Mandalas by Melpomene Chatsipanagyotu. If you have a favorite page or you have some questions about materials I used or a link to a video I refer to, you can leave me a comment. And that's it. So there are 2 books on their way, but Amazon has some delivery problems here to Belgium. I have like Exploratorium, that book. Now it is Fright and Seek. But I can buy it second hand, but it wasn't used. So it came from very far. And I have To the Ends of the World and Back by Good, Wise and Warriors, like the longest coloring book in the world. And that's already 1 month on the way. So I hope to have it. I can show it to you next month, but we will see. So have a nice day. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Leave me a comment and I will see you in the next one. Bye.